It's Michael McClellan. Welcome to another Levine Electronics and Electrics lunchtime COVID webinar. Thank you so much for joining us. I have a couple housekeeping items to share with you. This is a webcast format, so your phones are muted. We would love for you to participate, however. Please ask questions. There is a button, I believe, on the left side of your screen that allows you to type in a question. Feel free to go ahead and test that. You could type in test, or you could type in DrivePro, or you could type in I hate COVID. Again, we'd love for you to participate. This is not meant to be a one-way presentation. There's also some handouts that I have attached to the presentation. There are 5 or 6 of them, and you can access those by another one of the buttons on the left side of your screen. Today we have a very special guest. Andrew Carlson is the product marketing manager for Danfoss DrivePro. And Danfoss DrivePro encompasses lots of different lifecycle type products, including extended warranties, stocking programs, monitoring programs, and that sort of thing. So today is just going to be an overview of Danfoss DrivePro. And hopefully someday soon in the future, we will attack one of these items in depth. So without further delay, here is Andrew.
All right, well, thank you very much. All right, I am the product marketing manager for North America for the DrivePro Lifecycle Services. And in addition to those products, I also handle the compact products as well. So I started out with just the DrivePro, and I'm slowly adding to my plate with the compact products for both VLT and VACON. So today I would like to just kind of go over all the different lifecycle offerings that Danfoss DrivePro Services can provide, and provide you a little background on the programs and DrivePro in general. So DrivePro started out as a North American offering. So here in North America, we had a team of people that sat down and wanted to really attack the service side of the business, and came up with the offering, which in its infancy dates all the way back to the year 2000. So it's been around now in NAM for about 20 years. In 2016, there was an initiative by Danfoss Drives on a global level to start to implement the DrivePro offerings globally, because they had no DrivePro offerings to that point. So they, from a global perspective, they rolled out an entire product management team at a global level to kind of take the product offerings, own them, and then be able to roll them out to other regions of the world. So because of that, as we go through here, you'll hear me talk about some global offerings and some NAM, North American, local offerings. And the reason for that is, on the local level, we have some products that the global level hasn't adopted yet. Doesn't mean they won't in the future, but they did not adopt those at that time. But we also did not want to remove them from the portfolio for our North American customers. So a little background on that. So DrivePro Lifecycle Services are really a comprehensive set of programs and services designed to proactively provide solutions to get the most out of an AC drive. Danfoss can customize and fine-tune these offerings for whenever and wherever customer may need them to optimize their business and the overall experience with the Danfoss product line. So the concept of the DrivePro program isn't it's not really a one-way street, it's a two-way street, and we view it as a partnership. And so we want to partner with not only our Danfoss sales partners, but also the end users and customers to really enhance the life cycle journey that they're on with the Danfoss products. So these products will, really help to enhance their product, the Danfoss VLT or VACON product performance, and also be able to establish that partnership for the life cycle of these products, but also for the entire customer journey. So this is a scenario that you're seeing on your screen of just a normal, we'll just say a normal VFD in operation under normal conditions with no maintenance planned. So you'll see there's an installation time frame, a startup time frame, end of the standard warranty period, a period where repair may or may not be needed, and then the designed end of life of that given product. So this is kind of just in general the product life cycle of a given VFD. Scenario 2 would be that same VFD operating in harsh condition with no maintenance. So the red was the original life cycle. The gray is the life cycle based on maybe a slight misapplication. So if you had a NEMA 1 that got put into a very dusty environment, where maybe NEMA 12 would have been the better option. Well, now it's going to reduce the overall life cycle of the drive, might require more repair. So the end of the life of the drive is shorter than the original designed end of life of that given drive. And then scenario 3 would be same, maybe drive in the wrong application, but now startup and installation, or startup after installation, was not necessarily performed properly. Someone on site who may not have all the knowledge required got it running, and now they're off and running, and in the onset everything looks good, but realistically it's not going to perform optimally over its life cycle, and the life cycle could be shortened. So as a means of combating all of these scenarios, Danfoss DrivePro offers a set of services that can help enhance that life cycle and work together over the entire life cycle of the product. So you can see things at startup. We offer a startup service. There's the standard warranty period, but you can opt for extended warranty that would just increase that. Then as you hit dips in performance over time or repairs that could eventually pop up, we have things like our DrivePro exchange program. You know what, let me try to get a pointer going here real quick. There we go. So we have things like our exchange program that could get a new drive out in case one has failed. Our spare parts program where a customer could stock a select number of spare parts that would cover multiple drives, but would have it on site in case something happened. We will be offering an upgrade program in the future where you can take the existing active lifecycle FC series drive, we'll say, and you could upgrade the software in it to the latest version if you're looking to add a functionality to that drive, but you need the software updated in order for that to happen. And then of course at the end of life, we also have retrofit programs that could take you from a legacy product that's been running for a while to the most up-to-date offering, or take you from an up-to-date offering that's been running for a while and upgrade you to a new version of that same drive. Here is an overall just screenshot of the of all of the lifecycle products that DrivePro offers. So it's a wide variety of services designed to work together to optimize the performance and the lifecycle of the Danfoss products. So quickly, site assessment, we'll go over these more in detail. be going out to a site and assessing all the drives at an installed base and evaluating them, and then being able to offer other products based on the evaluation. Extended warranty is just extending the standard warranty, and we have a couple of other NAM offerings in here that I'll go over. DrivePro spare parts would be the ability to have spare parts ready on site if something were to happen. Exchange would be the exchange of a new version of the same drive or upgraded version of that drive if one has failed in the field. Preventive maintenance is a more in-depth plan that would work with, we'll say, a DrivePro service partner or a Danfosss internal sales or service person that could work with a customer and go over their installed base at a more in-depth level and come out with a scheduled maintenance plan that would go over the life of the given products and that are being reviewed. Then we have things like Retrofit, which would just be the upgrade of either a legacy product or an older version of the most up-to-date product. Upgrade, which I explained, would be upgrading features and software within a given drive. Our startup service, which would allow the, after the drive's installed, we can optimize it and start it up in a way that, and give guidance at the time of startup and future recommendations. And it would also allow us to address anything that might happen at the time of startup as we are on site. And then these final two are going to kind of work together a little bit. The remote expert support is really going to be an extension of our tech support staff as they are today. So anyone can call in to tech support now and get over the phone some troubleshooting and diagnosis from our tech support team and be able to help get you back up and running. This will be coupled with the remote monitoring, and we'll get into this. We're hoping to launch this by the end of this year, which would allow you to monitor drives that are not as easily accessible. So if you had one in a middle of a field somewhere, like an oil field or something like that, or if you had a drive sitting in a room that's not easily accessible to everyone because there's restrictions, or at another location perhaps that somebody has to monitor multiple locations. It's the means of being able to look at the drive and what's going on with it and be able to make changes before something faults out. So, oh man, trying to get to the next screen here. Okay, there we go. So we'll start with DrivePro Site Assessment. So site assessment is really designed to be a door opener to talk with a customer about all the other services that DrivePro offers. So a customer can, or a service partner can go in, they can evaluate an end user's installed base, and they spend about an average of about 5 minutes collecting just what is the drive, the environment that it's operating in, and install conditions. They input that into a report format that we have, and then the report format, along with of the inputs that are put in there, along with things like how critical is the asset and everything, will generate some recommendations, and the service partner can then take that and recommend different services that might be beneficial to keep a plant up and running, reduce downtime. Maybe a recommendation is to keep some spare parts on site, or if it's really critical that a unit cannot be down for a long period of time, maybe things like having a backup drive on site or something like that would also be recommended. So it's an enabler for a service partner to really be able to discuss with an end user, their installed base, what really can be essential and effective for them to utilize from the DrivePro Lifecycle product portfolio. Another way to kind of look at it is, once this site assessment is done, you get the asset details, and by asset, just VFDs or soft starters or any kind of VLT or VACON product that's on site. You get some of the details of what it's running. So if it's running critical machinery or non-critical machinery, and then the condition that it's in. Is it, how old is the drive? Is it in a harsh environment? You take that and that will generate some of the asset criticality and the life cycle status. Where is that given drive in the life cycle phase? And it will allow recommendations then of the different types of services. So then the sales or the service partner can sit with the customer and discuss potential, services that would help keep them up and running or keep their products optimized and things like that. And then finally, an agreement can be made. So products could be quoted, services could be quoted, a timeline can be established on when will these services or new products be installed and when will the services take place. And so it's an agreement comes about it. So it's kind of a 4-step process to a site assessment, but it's a means to get the view on some installed base and give the customer kind of a snapshot of their overall plant, all of their assets in an installed base, with a report that they would get at the end that would allow them to look back on it and see everything that they have in their installed base. DrivePro Startup is it would review the installation of a drive. So realistically, startup does not include the installation, so it has to be mounted and installed and power hooked up and everything to it. But then a DrivePro service partner can go in and they can perform test runs, optimize the drive for the application, and do a startup report and guidance on future recommendations. So it allows also for someone to be on site and deal with maybe any potential issues that might arise from the installation. Right now, we also have the ability with the COVID-19 situation going on to do some of these things virtually as well. So we can do some virtual startups with customers and everything. There are 2 versions of startup in North America, and this will go back to that point that I was making. Both will effectively do the same thing. The global offering is really designed for our highest level of DrivePro certified partners, and we have 3 levels in North America. So we have an authorized service center, which is really anyone, if they sell something, they'll service just what they sell. We'll have an authorized service partner who may specialize in HVAC applications or water applications, and they'll service any type of drive in one of those applications, but maybe they don't really focus on industrial. When you get to the certified DrivePro partners, they're really set up to handle everything. So they would have the highest knowledge level. They could go into any application or any environment and perform the necessary service, as they're well aware of many of the different types of applications and how the drives will work with those. So the local offering that we have is really for anybody. It's the offerings we've been using for the past 20 years and everything like that. And then the global offering is really, like what our global team rolled out, and it's really designed specifically for the certified DrivePro partners. And again, North America did not want to limit anything, so that's why we kept our normal startup. So we have a startup offering that can be for anybody, any application, any scenario, and things like that. So and it will allow all of our service partners to be able to perform the startup on site. Professional startup services are performed by a service partner that has been trained. So it's they have to go through courses, take exams, pass those exams, and so it's not just anybody coming down the road that doesn't know what they're doing. They all have to be certified in order to do it. And again, it will optimize the performance of the drive, increase the longevity of the drive, and at those times, again, even at startup, it is a point in time where a service partner might be able to notice something. Again, like we had mentioned, maybe a NEMA 12 got ordered or a NEMA 1 got ordered when really a NEMA 12 is better suited. Maybe the recommendation is, hey, we have a NEMA 12 kit that we can install on this to convert this drive. Or we might recommend that even in that, it's pretty dusty in here, having a extra fans on site will help you in case a fan does go out. You can quickly replace one and be right back up and running and not lose a lot of downtime. So the service partners can still look at things in a startup scenario and provide other recommendations. So DrivePro in North America will offer a variety of coverage products. So starting with extended warranty, drive protection, and service contract. So the extended warranty is, it basically takes the extended or the standard warranty and extends it for a period of time. Drive protection extended warranty will take the standard warranty, it will enhance it, and it will extend it for a period of time. And our service contract product will really be able to, once the extended or standard warranty has expired, it allows us to continue to provide some type of coverage service for the drive that is out of the warranty period. So we'll look at each one of these a little bit more in depth. Extended warranty is probably the most straightforward. We have up to a 6-year coverage offering on it. So a normal drive will, depending on the product, will start anywhere between 18 and 24 months. And in some cases, we have some that are a little bit longer than that, but it will take that product and it will just extend the standard warranty, all the manufacturer's defects, anything like that, and it will cover it up from cover it for a period up to 6 years from the date of manufacture. So it's important to know that these aren't from date of installation, but everything starts from the date of manufacture. So we can just basically take the standard warranty and extend it. It can provide some peace of mind for customers, allowing them to know that in a situation they're covered. And probably one of the biggest things is it would allow them to know their budget for a given period of time, because they know that if a VFD has an issue and it's covered under warranty, there would be no cost outlay to them at that point, as they've already paid for the extended warranty up front. So it helps to allow customers to know their budget somewhat. Extended warranty is going to do everything that the standard warranty, extended warranty does, but drive protection extended warranty will include things like line anomalies, lightning strikes, load anomalies, accidental exposure to moisture corrosives, and accidental collision or physical damage. So it's going to enhance that warranty and really be able to provide in a lot of areas that are kind of unheard of for protection. This is a NAM only offering. So the only thing that you'd have to remember is if you are exporting something, so say you buy a VFD, you add the extended warranty, a drive protection extended warranty to it, but it then gets exported to Germany. The service partners in Germany, that they know extended warranty, but globally the drive protection has not been adopted yet. It is something they're looking into and making it a global offered product, but it's just something to remember that drive protection really should be offered to customers who are going to keep the product in North America, because any of the service partners in North America can fulfill a drive protection extended warranty service. Service contract, again, is a NAM only offering. So again, just remember that this should be for drives remaining in North America, not going overseas anywhere. The service contract really is going to begin where the warranty leaves off. So we can provide up to 4 additional years of coverage after a warranty has expired. So if a customer, yeah.
Question came in, is the DrivePro extended warranty available on all of the Danfosss and Vakon products?
Yes, the DrivePro extended warranty is. So what that would go down to little compact drives, micro drives, Vocon 20s. The extended warranty would be available to that, to our soft starters, to filters, DVD-T filters, things like that. When you get into the drive protection that is going to enhance that and cover like the lightning strikes and things, that's when we refine it. Most of the compacts, let me think, yeah, the compacts are not included in that. So then you're really talking like FC series drives, 102, 202, 302, Vocon 100, Vocon X series, Vocon NX series, those would all still be covered. But the compact drives that aren't nearly as robust would not be covered under the drive protection program, nor the service contract. Again, service contract is for the drives that really are going to have those long, the ability to run hard hours, long hours for long periods of time. One of the attachment or one of the handouts is the DrivePro Lifecycle's price book that that we attached. In there, it will show which products are covered for extended warranty, which products are covered for drive protection, and which are covered for service contract as well. So, but yeah, so for service contract, you can get up to 10 years of coverage on a drive. A customer could do 6 years of extended warranty, and then once that extended warranty is expired, they could purchase 4 more years of service contract. The thing with the service contract is Danfoss will provide it. We just want to make sure that it's the drive is in good operating condition when we extend those 4 additional years of service contract. So we would like a performance inspection done. This can be done usually in-house by somebody. They can look at a couple of criteria, fill out a form, just make sure that the drive is in good working condition. And once that's done, Danfoss can then sell that service contract to that customer. The DrivePro spare parts. This is really designed to be a means of an end user stocking some optimal spare parts on site to help if a situation arises. The parts are there. They don't have to wait for overnight shipment, anything like that. They can grab them, put the parts in. If spare parts are ordered, like a control card was ordered, the control card's always going to be the most up-to-date control card. It's not going to be a control card from 10 years ago that doesn't have the right software in or anything like that. So all the parts are up to date. So in addition to individual spare parts, what DrivePro is going to be offering are spare parts packages. So the standard packages and the advanced packages are in the process of being released. So we're working on them right now. They're not fully available yet. I am hoping by October, so finishing it up this month, by October, we'll have those packages out there. The maintenance packages, they have been released now. And so what this is in a given frame size of a drive, it would have all the fans available for that given drive. So if you ended up with multiple, we'll say C1 frame drives or something like that on a floor, you could buy one maintenance kit and have it to cover all of them. Or you could buy one when they're released, standard kit or advanced kit, and they will cover everything in a given frame size. So the way that the packages are designed would be to where it would be individually boxed and part numbered parts would go into a larger packaged part box. This way, when you open that box, if you need, we'll say you need the power card out of it, you could use that power card for a given drive. You could then reorder that individual power card and put it back into your kit, then by having a complete kit again. So the way the kits are designed is they are not for an emergency purpose. They're really designed for to be purchased up front. So if a customer knows they're going to buy a couple of drives that are going to be, either in a remote location or they're going to be very critical, they could buy a kit up front, maintenance kit, standard kit, or advanced kit, and they could buy it up front, keep it on the shelf. So the kits are assembled to order. We are not going to be stocking any kits. Again, it's because it's not to get a customer out of an emergency situation. If the customer was in an emergency situation, needed a power card, we would recommend ordering that specific power card at that time. We can get that out right away. These kits are more designed to be a proactive thought process of putting something on the shelf to provide in case of a future situation. This is kind of to show you a little bit about a time frame of what a situation for spare parts. If you had to order a spare part all the way from the beginning of the process to being able to have it and plug it in, if we could overnight it, it would take you from an order process to the overnight to being able to install it, maybe just over a day or something like that. Consequently, on the other side of that, if you had it on the shelf, you would be able to pull it off the shelf and maybe in an hour have it up and running. So there can be some significant time savings because you may not have to go through your procurement department or something to get a PO and go through all that. It's something that's on the shelf. It could be back up and running. And then once it's up and running, then go through the steps of procuring a replacement for that spare part if a customer so desired. The next offering we have is our Exchange Quick Ship program. So this is going to be, we are keeping a specified stock in our logistics center at our Loves Park facility in Illinois. And what this is we, based on what we feel from customers, what we need to have in that inventory, we've got some, we keep some inventory that we feel is the most accessible for a customer to use. So we may not have a 5-horse at a given time, but we might have that 7.5. So even to get you out of a situation, we could sell you that 7.5, even if we didn't have a 5. So on a lot of the industrial drives, we're going to stock something with a brake in it because we can't add it after the fact in the field. So it may not necessarily be a one-for-one replacement of what a customer might have, but it won't be anything less than what they have. It may have some extra features on it. Option cards and things are not part of these drives, but we have option cards in stock. So if a customer had a drive that had a Ethernet card in it, we could sell them the drive out of Quick Ship that doesn't have the Ethernet card, sell them the field installed Ethernet card, and they could put it together, but it's still much quicker than trying to build a drive from scratch for that given customer, and can help them get them out of a situation. These are a snapshot of some of the drives that we have in that program. We do have bypass panels in both the vertical and side-by-side configurations in there, Vocon X series, NX series, Vocon 100s. Right now, we are going through a process, Danfoss is internally, of consolidating all of our systems into one system. And so the stock is being moved internally in the system and to different locations within the Loves Park facility. So it's just a disclaimer, because you may have experienced before where someone might look something up for you and they might say, yeah, we've got it, or we don't. It might take them slightly longer right now because they'll have to look into a couple different areas to make sure that they're checking everywhere as the stock is being transitioned. So it's more of just a disclaimer or a heads up. This will kind of give you, again, another timeline. If we had to build a drive from scratch for a customer and the lead time's a couple days and everything like that, it could take a few days if it's just going through the normal order process. If it's a quick ship and it comes out of our inventory, we can usually do the overnight and be able to get it to you within a day. So while we still have to ship it from our location, you could be getting something within a day as opposed to a few days having the drive built from scratch. A lot of those services that I laid out were what I'll call our part number and list price type products, where it's a book part number, book price. As we get into the next couple of products, these are going to be more a program type product, where there'll be individually tailored quotes and offerings based on the customer requirements. So preventive maintenance is really, the way I view it, is like a very enhanced version of site assessment. So it goes much deeper than site assessment does, where if site assessment, we want to spend about 5 minutes on a drive getting just the critical details. With preventive maintenance, we want to do a deeper dive, take more photos, get more information, so that we can really do a comprehensive plan to provide a maintenance schedule over the lifetime of the drive that will essentially prevent unexpected downtime for a customer into the future. So preventive maintenance is really set up now into 4 modules. There's an audit. So Danfoss does an audit where they do a quick check as far as at the drive, but then they gather more information after the fact. But how is the drive installed? What's the environment like? And what's the application that it's running? They can input it into all the information into an app, and what it does is it'll give the service partner a report, and then that service partner can then begin to quote a comprehensive maintenance plan out to the end user. And that maintenance plan will include 3 modules, 1, 2, and 3. And so module 1 is an inspection. Every year then, the service partner would go back in, do another visual inspection of the drives just to make sure nothing has changed. So if the environment's changed, then the preventative maintenance plan has to change. They'll continue to make sure the drives are operating properly, and they'll provide a report on that. Module 2 will be for some basic maintenance parts that have to be replaced every 3 to 6 years. So they'll say, hey, in year 3, we want to come back and do a module 2 service where we replace these parts. And then module 3 is for more in-depth parts. So if they think, hey, based on the environment at year 10 maybe, or year 17 in the 20-year cycle or something like that, we're really going to need to look at replacing IGBTs, something a bigger, more in-depth type of repair. That would be module 3. Module 1, 2, and 3, if they can all overlap. So you wouldn't have to have like at one point in a year an inspection done, that same year a service for module 2 done, and if it's module 3 in that same given year, a 3rd trip. They can all be done simultaneously. But basically what it'll do is it'll give, again, the customer a maintenance plan for every asset on site. So the quote is done, and then it can be negotiated with the end user, and then the end user, the service partner, and everything. They can all come to an agreement on the how to deliver that plan. So maintenance plans are available for VACON and VLT drives. They'll look at the different environments, and a tailored preventative maintenance plan can be developed by Danfoss, to suit product applications, and it would allow them to schedule service times every year to prevent operational impact, to lower that and reduce the downtime while that drive's being done, and prevent it from being an unexpected downtime. So it's original equipment parts go into it, and it reduces wear and tear, extending lifetime. So a lot of benefits, but this is more of an in-depth. There's no book price technically on this. It's a plan that is developed over time with an end user. Again, emphasizing that partnership. Upgrade, I'll just touch on this very briefly. We haven't released it yet, but this is really going to be a product that would allow you to update, software or like a control card with the most updated firmware in it into a product to allow you to then maybe be able to use a drive that might be 5 years old or something like that with a new type of offering that has been made available in that drive. So it's I don't have a time frame on that globally. They haven't really released this yet, but I just wanted to touch on it as you'll see it in some of the images. And this is just kind of how it will work a little bit, but for the sake of time, I want to move on to remote monitoring. Remote monitoring is something that we're looking to have released by the end of this year. And what this will do is it allows a customer and or Danfoss to be able to monitor how drives are operating without actually having to physically be in front of them. So what you have is, and I'll go to this next one's a better image of it. What you end up having here is a service partner would go and they would work with the customer on site, and they would basically determine the network topology on site and everything like that. There's a form to be filled out, and then that form's returned to Danfoss so that Danfoss can set up the gateway for the customer. So the gateway is the hardware piece that would go on site that all the drives would hook up to, and it would push all the drive information into the cloud. And the cloud is secure, and basically the end user has access to it, Danfoss has access to it, and anybody that we agree to can basically end up having access to that information. So that's the hardware piece of it. Then to store the data in the cloud, so there's historical data for the ability to provide pretty much real-time data. There's a yearly service fee as well that will also allow the customer to work with Danfoss to be able to update, get drives back up and running if something were to happen. And it allows Danfoss to be able to look at exactly what the customer is looking at as well. So there's a part number for the setup fee, which is basically the gateway. And then there's a yearly fee based on if you have up to 20 drives that are going to be remotely monitored, or up to 50, or up to 80. And if you have more than 80, or if you have them at multiple sites, all of this can be arranged and agreed upon based on the individual circumstances. One-time fee, yearly fee. And then, like I'd mentioned before, remote expert support as the product that's going to be attached to remote monitoring hasn't been released yet, but anybody can call into tech support right now and essentially get an element of the remote expert support. Our tech support experts are in there, and they can help you diagnose the situation over the phone, work with you on different types of scenarios to troubleshoot, and then recommend what kind of services would maybe get a customer back up and running, whether that's a full replacement, spare parts, or if they got them back up and running, but they might go, hey, look, you may want your drive's older, you may want to maybe add a service contract to it or something like that. So so that's it's a direct line into our tech support as well. Retrofit is basically a program now where Danfoss can go in and look at Danfoss model drives in an installed base, competitor drives in an installed base, review all of the drives, and then work with the customer to develop a timeline to maybe upgrade those drives, replace the legacy drives with newer drives, or maybe more suitable drives for the application. But
Andrew,
it's not
is this the program that used to be called Smart Step?
Yeah, so Retrofit Smart Step is really going to be, the Retrofit Smart Step program has kind of gone away, and it's now encompassed somewhat into preventative maintenance. And also Retrofit in general could be for a single drive or for multiple drives. So the term Smart Step is going away, but Retrofit and preventative maintenance would still encompass the program where you can agree to a timeline with a customer and be able to say, okay, over the next 5 years, we're going to replace these 10 drives. And we're going to do that so that the customer can budget for it and be ready for that. They can know their budget. That's not unexpected. And we're trying to do it before you incur unexpected downtime. And we do it at an optimal time for the customer. So if peak season is in the summer, we don't want to schedule retrofits during that time. You know, maybe we do it when they can cycle a machine out of production in January or something like that. But Danfoss and the partners will work with the customer to meet the customer's needs and do this to you know, keep the customer up and running, but do it under their time. And then let's see here. Yeah, this here is just showing that at many different levels, Danfoss has expertise out there, and we've got we view it as Danfoss experts in the products we have. Our service partners are experts in that regard, but they're also very close to the customer. OEMs and integrators are going to have the highest level of knowledge of our product working on their equipment. And then obviously end customers, their maintenance and service teams are going to be the ones on the front line that know what their application on site is doing. So together, this whole channel working together can provide the best comprehensive knowledge and ability to get a customer back up and running. You know, here we're just looking at, you know, being able to, again, partner with customers and knowing, understanding that the customer on the front line knows the most about what's going on, and Danfoss and our partners are working to help the customer. We're not just trying to interject things on our own. We're listening to the customer and then acting accordingly based on their best knowledge of what's happening at their sites. And then here, yep, just the reiteration that the DrivePro product portfolio is a partnership. We're viewing it as we want to work together with our partners and our end users to deliver these services and ultimately provide the best customer satisfaction we can. So keeping them up and running, keeping their costs down, helping them know their budget and being able to plan and things like that. So, and again, with DrivePro, you know, stay calm, you're covered, and we're working together in that partnership format. So that's basically, I know it was a lot. I just wanted to do an overview. Like Michael said, we might be able to dive into some of these individual programs a little deeper in future dates, but I also wanted to make sure I left a little bit of time for some questions. So let's see here. I'm trying to scroll up.
Yeah, so here's a question. Go back to the retrofit. Can the DrivePro retrofit be used for replacing competitors' drives?
Yes, so we can go in and evaluate. We'll say like there's an ABB drive or something sitting on there, or a Yaskawa or something like that. We can the Danfoss partner, if they're able to go on site or virtually at a lot of times, can look at the application and then say, okay, here's the Danfoss offering for it, and also look at not only retrofit as just, hey, we're replacing it, but also what's going to fit in the footprint of what's pulling out. So try to reduce the amount of rework that would go into replacing the drive as well for the application. So yes, retrofit can be used, you know, for competitors' drives as well as, you know, preventative maintenance, like I said, can loop in. We can evaluate customer drives, or sorry, competitor drives in a preventative maintenance as well, and look at part of the plan to upgrade to the most relevant Danfoss drive, so that then you can homogenize. I'm sure I'm butchering that, but you know, your all of your drives are going to be of the same manufacturer on site. You know, hopefully making it easier to you know, go through maintain. You're only contacting one service partner or one manufacturer if something arises. So yes, we can certainly use a number of the programs to evaluate competitors' drives as well.
Great. On the DrivePro Exchange program,
yep,
is there any way to know how new or old of a drive that you will be getting. Asked another way, how long do the drives sit on the shelf in the DrivePro Exchange program?
Typically, the goal is to really to get that inventory turned over in a year's time frame. So moving now, the other advantage to, I had mentioned before, we're consolidating to one system. In the past, we had to have one group in the system that those drives resided in. It was kind of a sales channel system. They'd have to do more manual work to monitor that inventory. Now, by moving it supply chain, it's going into like the supply chain side of things, and supply chain will be monitoring that inventory, so they can look at it, and if something isn't turning quick enough, we can evaluate whether, man, we haven't sold that variation of that drive in a while. Maybe we can remove that from the program, put something more useful into the program, or we can at least get that one out and then be able to put a newer version of that drive into inventory. So we're really trying to, the goal from a Danfoss perspective is for us to find ways to get that inventory to turn so that we can help our customers out. But if it were to sit, yeah, we would evaluate it and rotate older drives out of inventory. The goal is typically a 1-year threshold on that.
Okay, great. Is the shipping cost included in a expedited DrivePro Exchange purchase?
Yeah, let me go back to that. I'll go back to that screen here. So what? One more. Here we go. Okay. So there are surcharges for the inventory, and it's primarily to carry the cost of the inventory, and then also we've included shipping with that as well. So the normal levels are 10%, which would include ground shipping, or a 20% surcharge, which would include expedited shipping. Due to COVID taking place and everything, one of the things we did to try to help with easing the pain is we reduced this 10% down to 7% and this 20% down to 14%, which carries on through the rest of the year. So if you were to need a drive out of the quick ship inventory, it would be the net price that would normally be received plus the 7% surcharge, and Danfoss would take care of the ground shipment. Or we could do 14% surcharge and Danfoss could ship it next day air and get it to the customer. So the shipping is included into the surcharge fee. We also are going to be, hopefully as of October 1st, we're working on a program to do some 24/7 emergency shipping, but that will be for high-end emergency cases where we have to get people to come in and open up facilities in the middle of the night and everything. So we're working on potentially getting that rolled out. We're in the process of it. And when we announce it, the additional charges for like sending people in the middle of the night to open things up would be expressed in the notices of the product release on that.
Great. And the surcharge fee, that is the entire fee for the exchange, right? So you just
Correct.
add that to the book price, correct?
Correct. And it would be, and this is we'll say of a net price. So
Right.
yeah, so it would be 7% of that net price, and that would be it. And then that would include either the ground shipping or the 14% that would include so that would be everything. Yep.
Okay. So just to take an example there, so it's clear for everyone. If we have a drive that's normally purchased for $1,000 distributor net,
yep.
It would be $1,070 to buy it out of inventory and include
and,
ground shipping.
and ground shipment. Yep. That is correct.
Okay, great. And so literally the price of the exchange drive, apart from the surcharge, if we forget about the surcharge, catalog number to catalog number, the price is the same, right?
Correct. Yep. Yeah. So there's no the exchange drive is the normal drive, so it's not the exchange drive list or net price is higher than the normal drive. It's all priced the same. So realistically, the program and the inventory and then the shipping fees and everything, that surcharge covers all of that.
Great. And 1-888 Danfosss is a 24/7 phone line, correct?
Yes, and what you'll do, so the normal hours of operation for that line to get like customer service and to get the normal tech support or the normal after sales group is 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. Central Standard Time. So for you guys out there, it'd be like 8 to 6 time frame. That would get to your normal hours of that phone getting to everybody. Outside of those hours, what we have is we have someone from tech support on a 24/7 emergency line. And I take that back. Customer service is there now longer. They're there till it would be, I think, 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Customer service is now on those phones. So they're trying to extend that out a little bit more. But otherwise, yes, 24/7, you could call up and there's you'd get a tech support person who could help in a situation like a down situation and things like that. And where we're trying to expand is if it's a spare part or a drive that the application is so critical, I can't wait till the next day for it to ship out. I need it to ship in the middle of the night. That's what that 24/7 emergency shipping, that's what we're working on right now is, okay, the process by which you take the customer, if tech support can't get them up and going with what they have on site, if it's just a reprogram or something like that, but it's you need this part or you need this replacement drive or something. If the customer is emergency situation enough where they need it ASAP, that's what we're working on. So we don't have that at the moment where we could ship something out at like 2 a.m. in the morning, but we're trying to come up with a program to enhance that, to be able to do that in true emergency situations. So, and the other thing is with this program, in the past, if we had a distributor or someone working with customer service and they said, I can't wait 3 days for a drive to be made, do you have something now? In the past, our after sales group was the group that would handle the quick ship program. So a customer would have to be transferred, or they would they'd have to then work with maybe getting a quote, but then we didn't have it. So then it's, transfer up to after sales and they'll requote you, and then you send the PO to them. Well, if the customer didn't remember and they sent the PO to customer service would have to forward that. So in order to eliminate that and to make it easier for the customer, both the after sales service team and the customer service team are now have the ability to quote quick ship or exchange quick ship orders and enter exchange quick ship orders. So if you're already working with customer service and things come up, you can continue to work with them. They can quote you on it. You can give your purchase order to customer service and they can enter it.
Right, that's fantastic, Andrew. Let's see, one final question. Do you think we could get a spreadsheet maybe once a week from you or someone that just shows us what's currently in stock in the DrivePro Exchange program?
Yeah, and what's going to end up happening is it's all getting moved into a larger global service stock, essentially bucket. So what we'll end up seeing is you'll kind of see some of the offerings expanded a little bit, because we've kept all of the stuff we've kept historically in the Exchange Quick Ship program, and now Global Service is saying, hey, in different areas of the world, we require this to be kept. So what having a Global Service stock in Loves Park, Illinois will do is it'll essentially, for all intents and purposes, it will, I'm not saying it's going to go to the entire plethora of every drive available, but it will slightly expand what is available for the Exchange Quick Ship program. I can look into getting information. I know in the project Danfosss is working with L3 on, you know, some of the projects we're working on, one of them is that visibility. So I know we're working on trying to get that better stock visibility and everything like that, and that'll be one of the steps in that project to get something, whether it's a weekly basis or access to a program or whatever it could be, to be able to see the stock a little bit better.
Great. Andrew, I think this is very helpful for everyone, especially our distributors.
Sure.
And thank you so much for your time.
You're very welcome. And if anyone has any questions that come up, you know, feel free to email me, and I can, you know, give you some specific answers or call you or whatever it might be. And because I know sometimes you'll think of something 10 minutes after the call ended and go, oh man, I wish I could have asked that. So feel free to reach out anytime and shoot me any questions that you have.
Great. Thanks again, Andrew.
Yep. Thank
everyone
you for
has
your time,
a good
everyone.
day.
Yep.
Hope to see you at the next WLEV lunchtime webinar network.